Yo, oh, yo, oh, how about that one? How about that one? All right. All right. Let's maybe play some more of the same tunes. this guy here. That guy. Lou bought it. She thought it looked like chili, and she thought it was like this big. We got it. The head of it's like this. Yeah. How are we all doing? I'm on this full screen mode because I've only got one screen at the moment. How are we all doing? You know, I found when not streaming, I was like just doing stuff and then streaming, you know, talking and whatnot. I better bring up the stream so I can actually see the chat. Beep beep boop beep boop boop beep. Beep boop boop beep beep boop. Beep boop beep boop. Why are we? What's going on with this thing? Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. Kia ora koutou. Okay. Oh, did I break something? In the middle of breaking something? Oh yeah, I was in the middle of breaking something. I will unbreak it for the moment. So, building. So we have, I mean, it looks pretty hectic because the grass is all shaded, but we have some shading going on. We have some shading, which is kind of nice. I was getting sick of looking at the flat shaded stuff. I wonder if these will load. They do. There have been some pretty sweeping changes. There's 2 stacks in there as well, which is like... There's some stacks in there. There's got misloaded, I think. Oh yeah, this is missing stuff. The stacks are broken in this. So basically there's been some sweeping changes. One of which, I kind of was in the middle of fixing this grass. Or like, because the grass is not in, well, originally, the grass was not shaded via the entire lighting model, because, is this gonna break? It is. Okay, yeah. Each plane of the, each plane of the grass is being kind of lit. And shaded, which doesn't really look very nice. So I think in the original one, the grass shader just kind of took the light and basically that was it, and didn't sort of do any fancy shading. It just sort of had a brightness. So I was just working through, right now everything's rendering through one shader. So I was just going to add a little bit of shading. But there have been some things happening. Things that I've done. In fact, maybe I'll make one of these little... Figure out what the game is about. Yeah, the last stream, we did some model switching, which wasn't really much. And then I was kind of like, getting a bit like, what is the game? Is the game really about what we think it's about? So I'll make this new stream. Today to do today stream 46 raw materials recap. That seems good. Add grass shader. That might be a fun thing to do. And then maybe So, oh yeah, well, you're there. Hey Rockers, how you doing? How's compile times in Odin? Well, the code is... I don't think the code is... I think I got this thing where you can sort of take source and say count lines. It says there's 12,000 lines. And it compiles, I don't know if you can see down here, the total time is 544 milliseconds, so half a second. Is that right? That seems right. For the debug build, which is the primary build. There is a minimal build which does minimal optimizations that takes 0.6 of a second, but the release one, that's the full optimization. Oh no, wait, these aren't doing that. I have to push that button, and the Odin release takes 4 seconds or something. 4.6 seconds. But the release one is like not a everyday kind of build. It's more of like a just when you want to really test the performance. So it being on the debug, I mean, it hasn't really changed. It's been around half a second the whole time. So I don't know how it scales, but what is the, I wonder what the, I've got the C++ project here. Does it build? I don't even have an output window anymore. Oh, there it is. Build one, well, this is regenerating code. That's release, build, rebuild solution. Yeah, this is like, this is a Unity build as well. So the whole engine builds on a Unity build. It's, why is it so slow? Debug build took 19 seconds in C++, so half a second to 19 seconds. That seems pretty good. Yeah, last time I was working through this idea of like, so we've always had cargo. So Odin's blazingly fast. Wow, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Odin just rebuilds the whole project every time. So there's no incremental building or anything. Because if you go back into C++ and you change one thing, maybe it always tries to like build the files it needs. I don't know. I'm not complaining about half a second. I mean, whatever the terminal and all this stuff takes extra time, but yeah. So from the history of Daisy Trains, it's always just been about like moving cargo containers of different colors. But I was starting to think that that might be like too basic. So I was chatting with a friend and he was like coming from it. He's not a game developer. He's not really even a gamer. He only plays like weird strategy games. But he was saying like, what if there were raw materials? You know, this is the obvious thing that you can combine at factories to create different types of cargo, and then there's more variety. So I was like thinking about that, and so I just like kind of killed the cargo system a bit, and instead of cargo being just containers, now containers are a type of cargo. And I put some of these base raw materials in there. And then see, a cargo can be a type of cargo, but it can also contain a container. So these still have their colors and stuff. Am I still zoomed in or something? I'm just zoomed. And then I was like, okay, maybe the containers require multiple cargo raw materials to make a container. So now there's a second step. So it's a little like rewrite of the cargo system. But like once it started going, I was just smashing it out, and maybe I'll just turn off the grass because it's quite distracting. So it's gonna rebuild them. Maybe we will just not do this. Oh yeah, so no grass generate. Alright, I mean this looks terrible, but so now we've got this resource panel. I don't know if you can see it, but you can select a resource. Right now I've only got model. I just whipped up some like temp stuff for say like a wood resource. And now when you put a stack down, it kind of is just an empty stack by default. And this resource starts producing whatever type it is. Which is kind of cool. And then you can like, okay, we need to pick up this wood. It's like the Auntie Donna sketch about wood. So now the train can go by this station, add a train. Maybe it can go which way? There's no way to turn the train around at the moment. Okay, train will go, and now it collects like whatever type of cargo this is, and it'll just have like a visual representation, some model. And now the idea is, oh, what did I do with my feature editor? I closed it? Never close it. Now we can have a factory. And a factory, say, you put down a factory and you can choose what its output is. So a brown factory, I don't know, it's just called brown. It requires wood. So right now there's no method for the factory to have to like have stacks. They just get delivered straight in there. You can see wood. You can, I don't know if you can see wood. Wood 4, so it's got 4 wood. I don't know why it's on the same line, it's just bad. But if you put a stack next to the factory, now it'll start producing whatever cargo it's producing if it's got the ingredients. So if I change this to red, and now it needs wood and copper. Oh, and it just did it, because the code's bad, obviously. Nice. Oh, here we go. We're already talking about, now the thing's totally derailed and talking about compile times. Fair comparison be Odin versus C. C compiling is fast, yes. No language compiler faster than C. The man, the legend, the train driver. I like simplicity. Why are we collecting wood? You need wood to win the game. Why have I been collecting wood all this time? And then you can put a warehouse down that may be, but we can change this warehouse type to round, put a station down and put this here. Now the train will should go pick up the cargo containers and drop them. Why have I been collecting wood? Now 1 wood is worth 1 wood. Yeah, pick up the container. He's going to pick up this red one at some point. Oh, no, I need a station there. Yeah. And then now the delivery. So now there's like a bit more variation to this madness. Polishing to do. Add a visual indicator factory is producing. Yeah, absolutely. It needs a little bar going, or it's going to have its little chimneys going, or whatever. Oh, one thing that I did. It's never going to get to that red cargo. And now, like I thought, when you gain currency, for example, you can upgrade the rate at which maybe the wood resource produces, or how fast the factory works, and things like that. And then as they get more complicated, they need like 3 things they take longer to produce. So it's sort of like a timing thing of how to do it versus what the cargo's worth versus how fast your train is. because you maybe don't have it all in one line, and then you have two trains, one collecting wood and one collecting the cargo, or one collecting copper, and now you've got to kind of balance. There's much more opportunity to balance the rail system, and I'm not sure what the overall goal will be per level, but yeah. Chimney Snoke need the particle system. Yes, indeed. With the tiering ideas, are you thinking more towards Factorio-esque puzzles? What's the intention? Yeah, well, originally the puzzle were going to be like, say there's a level like this, and there's just some cargo that needs to go from one place to another. But now there could be... well, one thing we were chatting about was the idea of like a time-based game where, say, every few minutes or something, you've got a goal of like generating an amount of money or something, or profit or something like that, or cargo delivered. So kind of like, I don't know, we're thinking about like, you know, mini motorways where you have like a scaling difficulty, and it's kind of impossible to last forever, but you see how far you can go. That kind of, but I don't really want it to be stressful. I like it to be like, I don't know, maybe there's a goal of some amount of, I don't know, because then if you take, say they need to deliver a certain type of cargo, then maybe the cargo, then you're forcing the player to use a certain type of cargo where I want them to have the choice. GPU particles or CPU? No relib here. How did you make the houses? Did you make it yourself as a Kenny pack? Yeah, these are Kenny. These ones are just like slapped together some Kenny stuff. And this is just like, I'm just kept bashing with Kenny stuff for now. Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, no relib. Oh yeah, yeah. Minimal scaler, yeah. The other option is a budget-based system, yeah. Oh, Hefix in the house. What up? C++ Railer version is particle GPU. No. Original Game Jam was puzzle-based. You intend to keep that aspect. Yeah, so that's what I kind of... I definitely don't want it to become like a sim tycoon at this stage, because then you're just falling into like making a worse version of Transport Tycoon or something. So I still want there to be some sort of constrained level size with puzzles, but maybe the puzzles have a little bit of interpretation to them. I don't know. I think as I'm building this, I'm finding kind of interesting things. If I put down a resource, so I've only got resource model for wood and stone. Well, look at that, isn't that beautiful? That took me all of about 4 minutes to make. If I put a stack down, I haven't got a stone cargo model, so I've got this is like the missing model. It's a Suzanne head with the funny color map. Oh, that's funny when it does that. But yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, if I were to turn the grass back on. So last time there was this complicated system for like rail where I had made these images that were masks for each rail piece, and they'd create like a 2x2, like a 32 by 32 array of floats, and the grass would look up those tables, which I'm gonna kind of do, but in a different way. It is working, but kind of not really. But what it does now, if I put a warehouse down, I don't know if a warehouse works. It might be something wrong with the thing. None wood. Yeah, if I put that down and then I take it away, see, it stamps out the grass, and it is very slow at the moment because it's not a very good thing. Yeah, it took 37 milliseconds. But it's like every grass object is doing a raycast upwards to see if it contacts the mesh, which has to try every triangle in this mesh, which is super bad. But what I thought was you could do that a different way, which might be on load, the model does like this process of this upward raycast, and it stores the results in a little grid, and then the grass can just look up that grid by position. It'd be really fast. Or in the rail, you can see the rail doesn't really work properly because the grasses, the raycasts go through the rail, so they need some sort of collision mask or something for that. So anyway, that's all like cosmetic stuff, but it is something that could be quite cool. Bolts and scraps. Oh yeah, bolts and scraps. Constraint puzzle. Maybe you have 3-star scoring on level completion based on number of tracks, trains, and time it took to meet the level quotas. Constraint puzzles are what I mean by budget. Towards Polybridge with the Zachtronics meta puzzle elements. Like mobile games. Come on, man. Maybe there's like... Well, I see the color, like the different tiers of cargo, like... kind of like the squares on the Monopoly board, like some of them give you lower return, but they're more efficient or whatever. And then maybe it's to generate a certain amount of money, how quickly you can do it. You do the raycast against basic box model, 6 faces instead of the real object model. What I mean by mask, so in the other one, in the original, I had these 32 by 32. So say we have, we'll just do a simplified version. 0, I'm an insert. Oh, so it's a dot, I don't know, what am I doing here? 0, 0, 1, 0. So say you load a model, and if it's like a grass masking model, then it does like this, a grid-based lookup, like whatever a tile might be. And it does a lookup from each of these positions in 2D space going upwards with whatever mesh we decide to do the ray cast with, and it stores basically a 1 or a 0 in some. So you've got something that's just a mask, which is just a 32 by 32. Could even be a Boolean or something. Could even be a Boolean. And then the grass just sort of, when you do the grass update, each grass just puts itself into this spatially, like where am I on the grid, divide myself into 32 by 32, and then look up this value. So it doesn't have to ever, so we only do the raycast thing once on load. Oh no, it was not a question. All right, yeah. hello, Jesse. Yeah, but still, now I've explained it, and explaining it makes me think about it better. But what I was actually doing, what I was actually thinking of doing, was adding a grass shader, and then I don't know. We could do this grass stamping thing, but I don't think it's. We need some more raw material temp models. Okay, that's the recap. Done. Now we need to add a grass shader. So instancing. Genie render instancing. So now each render batch has a ID to the shader, which will be handy. And then in this, where it says first it does bind proc. So this is a procedure that takes the thing, and there's currently only one. which is the Genie Models one, and it does all these binds of materials. And it enables a shader, and the shader OK equals we get this shader. Do we have a way of getting a shader via ID? I mean, we don't really need the shader, do we? We just need shader enable takes a shader. That should really, why don't we just take a shader ID? Okay. So shader equals primitive. Interestingly, we didn't actually get the batch which has that on it. We could send the whole batch, or we could just send the shader. Bind proc primitive, render primitive. So each primitive has a bind proc. Yeah, that's right. We could just send the shader with it. Shader ID U32. I mean, this is one thing, like the great idea, but instead of 32 by 32 bool, you could use a texture and pack the information RGBA channels of the pixels. This is if you do the raycast on the GPU side. I did do that originally with just float. I was pulling float values out of RGB, but it was just a lot of like messing around versus just look up on the CPU, because it's all done on the CPU at the moment. Here's one question. In like OpenGL, often you have handles for just about everything. And then they're used interchangeably, like the ID versus the object itself. And like in models, like in a lot of things, I'm moving to this handle system, which is similar. So you never get a pointer to a thing, you get the handle, and then you can just get the thing via the handle. But then sometimes it's like, it's tempting to say, oh, a thing has a, like in the game assets, these model handles, and it's just called models. But it's not, it's model handles, you know what I mean? Okay, so where were we? We were doing a thing. Shader.id, I think this is a dead function from testing, but we will carry on. So the batch handle model load, model render batch create, wants a shader ID. This is deep in somewhere and we don't have a shader ID. That's an interesting problem. Shader, so we don't need that. And we don't need all these shaders. Okay. But at some point we need to pass the shader in. Having distinct types of handles instead of writing U32 everywhere is a good idea, and such handles instead of pointers makes you able to validate the object exists when you try to access it. Yeah, I like it in general, because I didn't know that I wasn't aware that the Odin maps reallocate and move the data around. I was like, oh, I thought they were a thing. That was a naive take. So instance wants a shader ID 32. We could just I don't like this shader thing. And bind proc now needs a U32. I much prefer the function pointers. You just write proc. Bind proc batch.shader_id. But still models wants to know what render model batch, and model load comes from who calls the Dragon Knight? Game assets only. So we could model load want a shader. We can't put a default in, which is kind of annoying. Hello there. Hello there. What are the plans for the new 3D version after all? Did you get some new ideas for the gameplay as we weren't sure 5 days ago? Grueling Pine. Yeah, I've added, well, I'm in the process of adding raw materials, which are, so now there's another stage. There's raw materials that can be combined to make the cargo containers. So now there's another layer of making stuff. So maybe the players got more input into what cargo they make, and then what that cargo's worth, and then how much money they can create, and then the production speed of the resources and stuff. So it's maybe like a very, very diet Factorio idea. Not like that. I mean, I don't want to try and Factorio is so good. I don't even want to think about that. But like, yeah, so there's a little bit more to it than that, but it's still kind of puzzly based. We just don't know what the win condition is. You don't like this? Set int. Oh, and this wants a shader? Do we really? Oh, it does need the shader. Well, see, this is another thing. We got shaders map, which is a map to a string, and I think this is bad. This is where we might need our own shader ID, which is a distinct U32, which is going to be annoying because it's going to be different to the GL ID, right? Tested my fair share of numbers go up games, and the late game usually gets really boring. Yeah, well, I don't want it to be incremental, and I don't want it to be numbers go up. I'd rather it be like we were talking about last time, like the optimizing of the rail. A little bit of management. But like you get the system going and you're like, yo, my system's going. And then it's like, oh, how can I improve my system? Actually, now I need to change. And maybe like the targets change. It's like maybe from month to month in the game, it's like we need brown cargo. Now we need red cargo. And you're like, oh, now we need this cargo. Now we need that cargo. I don't know. So how do we, does the shader, if I look at the log, loaded shader with, I see it says shader ID 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I don't know why it's like, why does it take 3 IDs for a shader? So doing these, like, maybe we could do like, we could do shaders, which is a dynamic shader load, that loads, and then we have a U32 to int. So this is like OpenGL shader ID to index. Because you could just do it incrementally, but it won't work if OpenGL is doing this 369 actual shaders. This is going to break the shader system. Shapes is awesome. Yeah, I've attempted to start my own language. It just looks so easy. Yeah, well, Odin developer did. Oh no, what did I do? I got rid of the chat. No, I don't know how to bring it back. Live chat. Oh, there it is. I heard the Odin developer talking about how I'd never use LLVM again, but I don't know what. I don't really know anything about how stuff works like that. Should be some type of natural disaster, maybe mudslides, earthquakes. In Shapes, you have a central hub warehouse kind of thing that requests X amount of stuff, and it changes once it's done, which forces the player to reroute resources. Well, interesting. I did have that on my wish list for a while, but I never got around to it. Okay, so shaders shut down, 4 key, and we don't need to delete the shader. Oh. So this is shader's map. Shader equals, we need like a shader get proc, which has ID U32 and returns pointer to a shader. G shaders dot shaders map ID. So index exists. If it doesn't exist, do return nil or return G shaders dot shaders index. Nice. And return a pointer. Okay, so 4 key value in shader equals get shader get key in key. Yeah, right, and shaders map. So we take the key. Oh wait, why are we'll just get the actual shader. Okay. Key value in shader.uniforms. Oh no, that's just an index, isn't it? My bad. Okay, so that's fine. Shader shutdown should be one line between these. ID OK equals GL load shaders file. If OK, shaders map ID equals a new shader equals, no, we don't want that. We want to say this and go down here. We will just want to say shader, and then don't do that. Then we want to say G shaders dot shaders. See, I always do this, go back and append after the fact. Append shaders with the shader. Well, we could do that first with an empty shader, and then say shader equals G shaders dot shaders index equals G shaders dot shaders again len of this. So that's the length before, and then we get the index 1. Shader equals that. Shader ID equals these get uniforms from program. ID equals index. And return a shader. Is this not? Oh yeah, that is a copy. Okay, so we return the shader. We loaded the shader. Then shader update for shader and G shaders map. We don't need this. We just shader and G shaders dot shaders. If shader update protocol update proc. And then we need to make it a pointer, and then we can update the shader. How good? Shader enable shader. Shader basic instance update. Shader.id. Okay. So at least now we have a way to get the shader. And this could be pointed to a shader now. I keep changing things. Shader.id. And then this needs to be back to instancing, and we need to go up. And this is an actual shader, pointed to a shader, and render product, bind product. This now needs shader, bind product, proc. Hey, why would you go there? Bind proc has a shader pointed to a shader, so what's the problem with that? Oh, this needs to be a pointed to a shader. Is this like you can define these things? So you don't have to write them out like that, maybe? Okay, now we can say batch dot, we can say shader get batch shader ID, and we Gucci. Few issues. Shader equals gshaders map texture viewer. Yeah, how do we get some arbitrary texture? Where are we storing them? I mean, we could also have maintain a map shader name. So what's going on over here? Where can I? Oh yeah, just turn up the brightness a little bit on that. Factorio asks how you're going to handle the transformation of units. Sokoban asks how you're going to traverse a graph. Polybridge asks how you're going to find a minimal path in solution space. The latter two seems more compatible than the first. Yeah, another aspect could be deck building. Maybe build your tracks around existing infrastructure or in a landscape of incrementally changing structures. Yeah, there's definitely going to be, the structures are going to be there. Modifiers you dealt could affect your solution space traversal. Sounds like Transport Tycoon. No, this is Transport Tycoon with less steps. That's the idea. I was inspired by a little game called Mini Motorways. Yes, Mini Motors is cool. Mini Motorways always end up with spaghetti roads. Map of string to int. Well, so how do we just say I want a shader? Because there were like, then you got to build and maintain something somewhere else where you like keep the IDs somewhere. We could do that in the texture viewer. We got this, and we could say that there's a shader ID, shader, which is a U32 or something. But then we have to like populate this and whatnot. So maybe we'll stick with adding a second map, shader ID map. I don't know, is this just bad? ID name to index, and we could have so we're still passing the name in here. When we shader load, we say shader gshaders. This is the ID to index, and then we could also have the name to index. We just never delete things. Shader name name equals index, right? Nice. Love that. We just got to remember to delete all this stuff at the end. And then on shader get could be shader get. You do this and you make this shader get by ID, and you make shader get by name, we pass in a name, which is a string. Index exists name map, name. Then we return that, and then we make a shader get, which is a procedure group, and we say shader get by name and shader get by ID, and now we can still use shader get, right? Shader, and I love this, getting rid of all this stuff and just being like shader get. Shader.id. Shader enable now could also be whatever. In here we go shader get. Now we're almost not quite there yet. Okay, again, shader get. Oh, there's going to be a lot of these, isn't there? Okay, .id 8. And this is going to be .id. Now it's starting to know where there's... Okay, come on, man. I've got one on every one. Let's change this to shader get. Oh, there's a few of them. Maybe there's like this, and I could just change that to that. Oh. Shader equals shader get. .id. Is this what's happening? Are we getting closer? Oh, yeah. And then shader get, enable shader. I shouldn't have changed this to ID. Oh, come on, man. Playing other games to study what they do well as part of the game dev I excel most at. Yeah. Hot cross bunge. That's my next door neighbor. I moved to next door to my mart. We still got errors? Oh, how many of these exist? One. Replace. Almost there. Oh, where is the error? Basic instinct shader OK equals Genie ID map. I don't know why this is here. Basic instinct. We don't have an OK. And then one last model path, game load model. Okay. Let's just load the model. This is where it's annoying because you're like, I want now a shader. A pointer to a shader. Okay, and then I have to put it in every single one and pass the shader in here. Oh, now there's like, oh yeah, now there's a million errors. Genie shader, my bad. Okay, now we need to put one in here, and I was trying to like minimize this. What's your problem? Oh, now you want a shader ID. Just ask for a shader. That's fine. Point it to a shader. And then this is gonna be like, yo. Whoops. swear we're getting somewhere. This is the thing with the not using an engine, is you're like, yeah, what's the actual game loop? And then you're like, hang on, I just got to like reroute my shaders 700 times. Okay, are we building? Almost. Yes, all of our assets need to be fixed here. Shader get, basic instance. So this is all coming down to it. It needs the tag, the shader, which is basic instanced in this case. Cannot assign basic instance type string and procedure argument. So where does it come? Path after the path. My bad. Oh, why does it have to be like this? I want this as a default. You can't put a thing in the thing, can you? You can't be like, oh, you could say shader equals nil and then be like, if shader equals nil, then shader equals shader get basic, what is it called? Basic instinct. Procedure parameter. Oh, you have to shadow it. Like that. We'll put the shader at the end because otherwise you have to do like stuff. And it will fix all my problems. Will it crash? Okay, now we build. Yes. Error lens extension, which you need, what, where it writes it in line? I hate that thing, it's so slow. Okay. So the shader is nil. Who called this and how dare you? Shader, I imagine, is nil. Shader is nil. Is this a systemic issue that I've created in rewriting this? Which, okay. Not sure how to get it. Okay, we've been chatting. IDEs have such poor IntelliSense compared to JetBrains. Odd that most devs have such a low standard for smart IntelliSense. Devs here use NeoVim, not $10. Even $100 a year is nothing for a valuable tool. Kernel devs don't even use highlighters. In Vim and Emacs, I often go to the next compile error. That's what the F8 was doing. Okay, shader equals get by name. We got the shader, right? Shader is not nil. Shader is nil. Did I write a thing? Is this because of the shadowing? Why don't we use shader pointer, and then maybe we'll do this. Whoa, why is it tabbing so far? Shader with shader pointer. Okay. Don't do that. Inline lens. Using the radar makes me want to actually build game. I know there's something like I don't know, one thing. Okay, shader equals shader get. Index is 4. Shaders len is 5. Shader is okay. Shader exists. It was this weird shadowing thing. So carry on. We're back. Nothing changed. Should you do all that code for nothing to change? Yo. Okay. Oh. You know, whenever I go back and look at the Daisy Train C++ project, I find like there's so much crap in each file, and in Odin I'm like on the rail. I'm like, oh, I'll make a bridges file, a builder file, a junctions file, a node file, a tunnels file, you know, because it's so easy to make and maintain a file. Like, you just make it and it's in the package. You don't have to make an H file, you don't have to include it, you don't have to get the declaration order right and like do 4 declarations, any of that. You just make a file and it's in the project and everything, and you just copy paste stuff from one file to another, and you're like, yeah, well, that's how I feel about it anyway. So the point was to now make a new shader, which is like a basic. So this is in Genie, but it needs to be in, we can put it here for now. Grass dot vert and new file grass dot frag, and we're just going to kind of pinch them because they're already done in this other version. Grass, cool. It doesn't find it. I love this program. Genie shaders, game shaders, grass dot vertex shader. Okay. So we've got a lot of wind and all this sort of stuff, which we don't really need. We do need the instancing stuff, and it should be the same as the basic instance vertex shader. We'll just check them. 1, 2, 3, 5. I think this is now 4, 6, and 10. Okay, good. And then we only need frag, position, text coordinate, normal, and color tint. Text coord, we will have tint color. What was the other one? We do want the normal, okay. And then we need the view projection. Time, I don't think we're going to do wind right now, but I think we can do the view projection. And there's so much in this shader about wind and stuff, but all we really want to do, world position equals model matrix times model matrix is that. We do want this. We need main. We will go back to our C-style braces. Instance model matrix. Don't know why we make a variable there, but we do. So all this is wind stuff. Wind, 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 wind. Frag position, displaced world position. So it's basically, we're doing this same GL position. Don't know why it's got so many equals is. The frag position is the same, I believe. Okay, we will do some nice formatting. The tint color is the instance tint color. Color tint. Why is one tint color and one is color tint? What else we need? We need the normal. Normal is the mat3 transpose. It is the same. we can just do this, but we can say out normal, out v normal equals transpose the model matrix. Or do we need to do a model linear first? Inverse of the model. Well, times a normal. Why does it just these two lines in one line? It is a vec3 though, right? How does that work? When you give it a mat3 and it just, I mean, it doesn't complain. U position, okay. So is that we need out text chord? We will need, how did you text chord? Equals a text chord. Out text chord equals a text chord. Put your things there. All right. Okay. So now we need the grass fragment shader. And the grass fragment shader. This is where the magic comes in. I don't want half of this stuff. Why does this one do some syntax highlighting and the other one doesn't? So we do need version. Core, we need the in all this stuff. Sorry, let's get instanced frag. We need some of these. We need frag position. We don't need tangent by tangent. We need those four. Then we need out. We need this. There are going to be uniforms, but I don't think we're going to use them. I'm going to do some horrible stuff. Okay. So we are going to do this albedo, and it does force, it doesn't even ask. It just says that the albedo is vec4 albedo equals texture u material. So we do need all this material stuff. We just need albedo color mask map. Grab these two. Where do you put the uniforms? After, in between? After? U albedo? Okay, we get the albedo. And then we do a hacky we just discard the fragment if it's under things like a, what do you call it? Alpha, what's the word for it? It's not like nice alpha, but then you have to, like, if you do the alpha nicely, then you have to sort of stack everything in, you have to sort all the grasp. So alpha, what is the word? You know the word. Okay, so if the grass color, we get that, and then we need to do the tint color. Tint color equals texture of the U. No, that is actually just the out tint color. And then there is some color space transformation, but we're not going to use that. We will do like this. If you use color mask, I think we will not do that for now, because that was for the two different grasses, so the daisies don't get tinted. Grass color, There's tint color. And then grass color equals mix grass color tinted grass. We're not going to get that. We're just going to mix it. By 1. This is color mask, mask to do. Okay. So we'll tint the grass. That's good. What is the point of all this? Oh yeah, it's this light contribution. Darken amount. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it was like darkening based on the wind darkness. So right now I'm doing this like ambient color. Ambient light is a Vic3 ambient light equals, and I don't have it set up to actually pass this stuff in right now. So I've got this ambient light here. And I'm just going to make it a... I mean, it could be a const. Can you do like that? Is that how that works in this? Ambient light color. Oh yeah, look. That's the color I wanted. Just typed it in. Ambient light color times LB. Okay, so because I just want to be able to do this the same in both things for now. So we need Vic3 ambient equals ambient light color times intensity, which we don't have yet. Ambient light color, we won't do that. Shadow, we don't do. Sun contribution, scale down the contribution. Oh, we've also got a... Do we have a sunlight color? We don't. This is like really badly hard-coded in this just to get going, you know what I mean? So I think this like 3.0 is the light contribution. Sun contribution. Scale down the contribution. Well, it is a color. Plus sun contribution. So all it is the light intensity. We don't really have any kind of directional lighting on this. So Vic3 sun contribution equals Vic3, and we'll just do 1.0, 1.0, 1.0 for now, times, was it 3.0? So it could be 3.0. And then lighting equals ambient plus sun contribution. Is that how it's working? And then we do some lighting equals min lighting. This is an interesting thing. The final color equals the grass RGB times lighting. And then out frag color equals the final color. It is... Do we use the albedo alpha? It should be 1, right? Frag color, yeah. Final color, Vic for final color 1. Lovely. Grass frag has errors in it somewhere, does it? I see red, but I don't see any issues. Where is the error? Game shaders. Do we not have a game shaders set up? Okay. Game assets. So we'll just put in here shader load, vertex path, is res. Maybe I will move it now. Sorry, this is a little big grass frag, and this frag, we'll move them into game. Res, models, settings, new folder, shaders. Paste them in there. Okay. I don't know whether there is an error, but anyway. Game assets, res, shaders, grass.vert, and res, shaders, grass.frag, and the name is grass. The update proc is grass update shader. Let's close these and go to grass. Game grass. Grass clear all. Let's say about grass shader update proc, and it takes a shader. Isn't that interesting? Shader. Okay. This is a genie shader. So game assets, it needs grass shader update. Grass shader equals shader load. We get the grass shader. And then with grass, we could send in the grass shader and the grass shader. I mean, we don't need to worry about daisies. Now, currently the grass shader doesn't do anything. What does it need to do? What do you need? You need the U view projection and maybe the albedo. Does anyone else get a headache? Semicolon on output color in your shader. Oh, I missed something. Oh, yes. Can't forget the semicolons. Odin's getting us weak with our semicolons. So looking at, I always find this like mentally difficult to then remember all the binding steps. This is the shader update though, so it's more in Genie shaders. Shader, okay, shader basic instance update, built-in shader update procs. So we need the cam core genie dot is it get active genie dot get camera? I don't have it. Core dot active camera 3D. Assert. I mean, it's not going to be null, but we didn't do it either. Shader enable shader.id. Then it's this. We need this. We need the. Oh, maybe we just say using Genie. Okay. It is UV projection. Was there some other thing we needed? That's fine. The other thing we need to do is the model binding thingamabob. We need a grass shader update and we need a grass model bind, which is a procedure which takes in a primitive, which is a pointer to a genie.render primitive, and the shader. Just pointer to a shader. Okay, and now we need to do this model stuff. Models, which I will look at to remember how it works. Now we need to do this stuff. This is a Genie shader. Mesh equals primitive dot mesh. Yes. So we don't need this anymore, but we do need that and that. Bind the stuff using Genie. Then we just needed to straight up set these. Set this. And set, there is no use material and it's not material, it's just U albedo, not albedo map. And what else in the grass frag, bruh? We don't need the color mask map at this point. This could be it. This could be all we need. Oh, we needed to actually bind the texture get texture. Mesh material albedo map looks good. Texture bind. And we actually have this thing which is I32 of texture locations if I'm trying to be good. Okay. But we need to now bind the bind. Yo, what's up? Tanko. Oh. When we create the assets, we need to also pass, because right now I don't even know if there's a way to batch options. We've kind of got to go do it in a roundabout way. So say model handle equals game grass. We don't need so many spaces around here. So we make a static double-sided special thing with the grass shader, and then we say get model batch render batch get default of the game get model of the dot grass. Oh, could we not get it by? So maybe we don't need that. And then batch dot. Oh, so each primitive has its own bind proc. Is this necessary? I guess it's dumb, but primitive and batch dot primitives primitive dot bind proc equals grass model bind. And we can't change it without that. Okay. Push go. Nice. So looking at the log, what went wrong? Okay, ID, let's go to the bottom. How many lines are in this thing? 81,000. So did we successfully load the grass shader? Loaded shader with ID 18, shader grass vert, shader grass frag. But when we got down here, we loaded the grass asset, and then we crashed on game assets init batch is null. Model handle is 25. Interesting. Why does that not get the batch? Get model. Oh, if initialized equals false. Let's just get. Let's just get it directly. Get the model directly. Oh yeah, that's a nice line of code. All right, perfectly lovely. very bright. Grass frag. Let's just calm this all down. I don't know why it adds the ambient. Maybe it is just a thing. Still too bright. Alright, and all it did was like just make the grass. Well, the grass is like, because right now, yeah, the grass, it's kind of awful because there is no real, like, the sunlight doesn't change or anything. But whatever. And it's supposed to have a color and all that, but you know. It could just shade the albedo color. Right? It could just be out equals albedo. RGB. Grass color. I feel like that would essentially do the same thing without all this stuff. Yeah. Alright, anyway. It's kind of set up for later. Wasn't that all just worth it? Add grass shader. At least now we have the ability to do shaders. Okay, so when we create a world and we put down like a resource of type wood, wood makes a nice wood model here. Interestingly, it just hard bakes. I mean, it looks for. Then we have a stone thing, and it makes Suzanne heads because we don't have a model for that. Same with like copper. It makes a Suzanne head. Will this technically make Suzanne heads? Yes. Iron. Yes. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-da-da-da. Perfect. The color and the output. All right. So each object, like this guy and the little builderini, we've got a little builder set up with different, just like scattered all the Kenny things to do a bit of kit bashing there. But we've also got temp models. So like this pile of wood. Visibility, viewport display. I might just make this a wireframe. What am I looking at here? Display as wire. Or display as bounds. This is like the size of a piece of cargo. So all the different cargoes kind of need to be this size in order to fit on the stacks properly and on the trains properly and whatnot. So I could update this one of the wood, cargo wood. And then we need one of like stone. So we're just going to do like very rudimentary simple situations here. Hide that. Make some little cubic zirconias. Maybe bevel. Yes, we love it. And then some type of, oops. How many can we fit? Do we want to fit like a bunch of stone on here? Add array of 2, and then why are we still so then add duplicate the array, but make it go up, or make it go over and over and over. Hefix. We need a like, well, we don't need a, but hey, why are you doing that way? Now there's like actual potential models that we could be making. Stone blocks. Seems like a lot of stone for one shipment. Add an array of one instance going upwards, maybe. Where did you go, sir? Oh, it needs to be at least that many. There's like a oh, how high? With just the right height. There is like a randomize now. You can like maybe in the original guy, one of these other ones, you can randomize a little bit. Now they're a little offset. Yeah, lovely. Perfect. Perfect. They need some sort of straps on them or something. Okay, apply. Use some color map. All scale X to 0, scale Z. Put it in like that. Are they all going to be slightly different, or are they all going to be slightly the same? If we unwrap, smart UV project, unwrap. Yeah, now we might get some interestingness. What color's stone? Is it like that? Yeah, now each one's got some weirdness to it. Blender really feels like magic. Yeah. And that array, I mean, that's not even geo nodes, this is some array stuff. I don't really need this mapping thing. Roughness, medium roughness? I don't think roughness is even taken into account. Oh, this is where we could search for an image texture, open some internal CGI textures, stone. What do these look like? Oh, stone. 4K, that's a little big. Why so big, man? Concrete. 3K. This is some old textures I had. Pebble concrete. 3K. I just want a little file. I don't want to have to do anything about it. Damaged painted concrete. Nope. Height maps. Oh, New Zealand height maps. Grass, grunge, paper. Yeah, some grungy paper. No. Surface imperfections, overlay, scratches, cracks. Oh, these look big. 6K. Hard tiled. Can I find this somewhere and like make it smaller or something? Is this necessary? Not really. Textures. What is it called? Surface imperfections. Overlay collection. Where did this even come from? This is like from 2019. Bit of stone. What is this? Open, edit with paint. Edit with paint. Oh yeah, perfect. Although, don't you have to like, you can't just... Do you have to bake it into a normal map or something? Can't use a height map? It's not going to work, is it? We're not going to do texture baking right now. That's fine. What other textures do we have in here? None. Okay. So, all transforms and GLTF this bad boy to cargo stone. Export assets cargo wood static, cargo wood dynamic, cargo stone static and dynamic. So these need to come in here. And then cargo stone. I had this issue with loading the same model twice and creating two different render batches. Again, it was a strings based thing. Just needed a handle. And then in cargo, we've also got these wood, stone. I've got these missing model static, cargo, stone, static, and cargo, stone, dynamic. But before this, oh yeah, we can still test it and make something fun. Okay, generate. After all that work, the grass still looks awful. Resource, stone. Okay, we got little stone blocks. Buddy booey. And the station should be able to pick them up. Bam, 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 bam. Man, without the tiles being shaded, it's hard to see what's up and what's down. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Add a train. Train. Go pick up. Pick up. Up. Yeah. And put them over there. One thing I wasn't sure about, like, say you put a factory next to a stack and it goes and looks for what it needs. If it needs multiple things and they're like not, and they're being dropped off at different intervals and stuff, it might, I wonder if there needs to be a way of like picking up stuff from the top or something like that. You know what I mean? If I put this here and red needs wood, copper, copper sand, copper iron, green, wood, stone, copper. It is quickly get complicated. Let's get rid of this. Add one there. Can I delete a stack with no repercussions? Oh, yeah. Whoa, okay. That was, oh, it was like the instances didn't catch up. Bam. Oh, that's terrible. I haven't really done these multi... Whoops. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Oh, why do I not get a... Oh, did that break? Nice. Broke but fixed. We can build a bridge there. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going with all this, but... what does this need? Wood, stone, copper. So we could make a wood thing. Wood needed. Wood. It's gonna have to be somewhere like annoyingly far away because this level isn't particularly designed per se. Okay. Rail. Where do we go from here? Let's just put some terrain down. Terrain for the terrain. Go through there. Okay, that's the wood train. Station there. Go the wood train. Add a train, you go. And we'll just put some cheat codes in on the train. We'll just give this one some extra train cars. Maybe level it up a couple of times. Give it some extra... 10 cars. Oh yeah. Give us some more train cars. So this isn't producing, which is interesting. It's impossible to see what it has because of the poor debugging. But we kind of just need one more station to bring it some copper, which will just like cheat a few terrain blocks here, there, and do like a little rail jump off there. No! Oh, we're gonna need a mine and a thing and a stack. Okay. Whoa. No! I know what that bug is as well. That was bad. That's if you delete terrain that has rail on it. Maybe we'll just squash that really quickly in the editor world. Build box, place, build box, handle transition, area block placement, single block placement. See code you haven't gone to in a long time because the brackets are still on the next line. Okay, world editor. Update area block placement. Build box remove. Grid remove cell. So this coordinate cell equals grid cells index. Okay, there. If cell.rail flags does not equal that, do return. This may not fully work because it's like when you make rail, when you look at the rail nodes, these are updated dynamically, and if you get rid of a block, it's not going to let me get rid of that. It does delete certain nodes around it, so anytime Why am I not able to go terrains to area? Okay. If I do like that, so it's not going to get rid of anything. Oh, allowed to get rid of anything without. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay. Okay, this is a better thing. We're just going to try and make a little much more simpler thing. We're going to have a factory that needs 3 things: copper and sand, copper and iron, wood, stone, and copper. Yeah. It needs an output. And then maybe we'll have the trains all like traverse one station or something. Delete that one. Resource, wood, stone, copper. It's like civilization. See, copper doesn't have a thing, but it'll pick. I'm just checking it'll still work. It creates the goods. And then we need a station here. Rail. Don't want to blow up this too badly. It's going to be a bit of overlappy. Sorry about this music, never changes, but whatever. Oh, now we're just going to be a little bit careful about things going the right way. So this one needs to go that way, and this one needs to go this way. Add train. You go that way. Add train. And you need to go up ways, right? That way. Yeah, I don't like the idea of this. The factory is not visually showing their stuff. And then this one, well, this is going to be impossible. Aha! This is going to be bad. Oh, that was the bug again. I almost killed myself. In fact, I did delete a bunch of terrain. Why does it not switch? Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna do something where we come. There's gonna be chaos here. Train's coming this way. No, not you. Oh dear. Okay, train stop. Pick up. Maybe my design is bad of this railway network. I mean, it definitely is. This is inherently challenging. What we could do is, like, this train comes, picks up the stone, goes, drops it off. This one here, though, put a station, put a stack down here. This is going to be the lamest train of all time. Put a station there and a station here. Train, this guy needs to go that way. Add a train. So sometimes he picks up Suzanne heads. Nice. Drops off Suzanne heads. This train is going to come through backwards. This time it's going to pick up Suzanne heads, but then it's never going to get wood. Oh, what? What? So you pick up the Suzanne heads, do you not drop them off? They transform so nicely. Okay, this is not a pickup station, and this is not a drop-off station. Oh yeah, this is definitely adding complexity, whether it's good complexity. Now pick up some Suzanne heads. Oh no, is it going to drop off? It is. Oops. Don't drop off on that one. And on this one, don't even pick up. Just bypass it. This one, don't drop off. Oh, yo, this is like a game. Dum 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 dum. Should have just got rid of the grass. So at some point, oh, why did you not pick up the Suzanne heads? Oh, it's had wood. Wood needed. It's just gonna keep producing wood. This time it's gonna get the Suzanne heads. No, it's not. I turned off pickup. My bad. Speed up. Green, red, yellow. What's that? What's green, red, yellow? All right, are you gonna produce a green cargo now? Yes. Oh, we got one green cargo. We did it. We did it. We're making green cargo. I quite like that because, like, that's something that Factorio does really well. Is the complexity ramp up when you're like, oh, I just need to make a little science. I just need to make a little green science or whatever, and then you're like, wait, I need copper and I need to turn that into that. No, I need that. I can see how it could get addicting, like when even making Factorio, how addicting it must be to like add more different types and have them like you could make intermediate materials like I was thinking about making like I was just doing a mental exercise of like, oh, what if each one made a secondary one and then they combined to make different things. Now that is kind of like Factorio. It's me, Bauhaus, from the Discord server. I love your videos. Glad I can watch the stream. Oh, it's good to have you here. How is the ray tracing in one weekend only going? If we just stop this train, then he'll stop adding Suzanne heads. Copper. And this guy can get on with his business of taking wood. Wood needed. Yes! I knew we needed a paradigm shift, but wasn't sure what it was. It was funny, my next door neighbor's like 8-year-old came over and I showed him the first level when it was just like move the orange cargo. And within like 1 second he was like, so what, you just have to wait for it to happen? I was like, oh, yeah, kinda. That is kinda what happens. And then my other mate came over and he was just like, nah, man, you need multiple resources and multiple different products you can create. And then through that, you do the thing. I'm like, yeah. Got surface normals and multiple objects. We'll share more when I add it. Yeah, keep sharing it. I was thinking about what you're saying about the math and like, where's some, oh yeah, like collisions. Even the, whoops, basic instance. This fragment shader, you know, like these functions here, distribution GGX. Like this math here. I mean, this is like lighting model math. Is it important to, I mean, I feel like being able to read a thing and kind of get the gist of what's going on, but I don't know, I'm not going to like mentally me understanding the mathematical equations of this. I don't think that's going to add value. That somebody did it. Now that's valuable. Somebody did it. Now we just need to complete this thing by putting a warehouse, a green warehouse, somewhere hard to access. Too hard. Maybe we'll put it like there. How do you get here? So we need a station there and a station here maybe. And a rail that goes... This is not going to work. Oh, this, it could be we changed this rail to go... Careful not to break the game. Put a station there. Oh, this is still broken. Oh, I know how to do it. This is where you need switches so that the trains can take alternate routes based on which... Oh, we can do a thing out here. Just build the terrain up. Oh man. That's where we need a tunnel. Terrain. This is like, can you make it happen without crashing the game? This hideous graphical representation. This music is epic. Add locomotive. Train. Going that way. Go, go, go. Picking up the cargo. Oh, why are you... Oh, we're on double speed or something. It's doing it. Yeah, no, this is kind of fun because it's like an interesting challenge to make the thing, and I guess the levels could get quite big if you've got like multiple different factories. Maybe you do hard code these factories. I don't know. Depends how much player choice you want. Did I re-add the first person train camera? No. But that could be quite cool. There needs to be a train follow cam and a POV cam. Oh, it's going to stop making because we're not getting Suzanne heads anymore. Or are we? Oh yeah, we still are. Oh, what if that train, this train, it's hard to know which train is which. That's that train. This train, that train, this train. What if we... I'm not actually getting currency right now, so I have to sort of use the cheat codes if I add some cars to this train. So it can be long boy and it can pick up that and the wood. Dun, 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 dun. I'm putting all this music all over it, so it's going to be hard to use this in a devlog. I like the way the Suzanne heads move across the world. Man, the wood supply. Same with the stone supply. Make this guy better and faster. Are we still in... This is double speed. Okay. Ah, he picked up some of his tail. If I think about it, I wouldn't mind if I don't learn much of the algorithms of race racing. The thing I can take with me, keep going. Don't give up, even when I feel like giving up. That's the thing. I think the progress, and also, I think, I mean, my point of view in doing this kind of thing, like making a game, you're like, well, if it's not about the lighting model and it's not about like learning OpenGL, like what is the point of doing it? And for me, it's like the challenge is more the like management of complex systems and trying to simplify systems so they're workable, you know, and be able to not get lost in your own systems. Because I think, like, even if you're using like a game engine, it's complicated and it's easy to make complicated processes, not just in code, but like I used to find when I was making Unity stuff, it got to a point where there's just so many like asset files and folders and just stuff everywhere that you're constantly looking at and going through your scripts folders and having that. I mean, I can't really talk here, I've got so much stuff on the screen. But it got to a point where it became kind of difficult to the process of moving forward of like, okay, I need to add a new asset. So to add a new asset, I need to get the asset file and I need to put it in the thing and then I name these things and do all this stuff and initialize this, write a script, add it to this, add it to this. And those kind of things, like how long does it take to add something new to the game or whatever? I don't know why I'm spiraling about this, but you know, it doesn't look great, but I'm starting to feel better about the gameplay. Because even this silly thing that was just got whipped up was kind of interesting to solve in a way. And it is like, now there is like an end goal of getting the cargo to its destination. But you have to make the cargo first, so then, you know. Daisy trains. You're not the first person to say that. Lou said that. She wanted it to be flowers, and she's like, and if the trains crash, then it can be an explosion of flowers. Oh wait, so I'm being mindful. I don't know, hang on a sec. Yo. Yeah, see, we start to get these slowdowns. And it takes so long now that the train's heavy. So this guy, whatever you are, we need to upgrade your train engine. Can't do it, but hack it. Do. Which one did I upgrade? Yes, horsepower. Horsepower power. That's the other thing, is allowing the player to like change what you've done and not feel like you're too locked in. Like be able to just grab a train, stop it, take it off the tracks and rebuild some stuff and then rerun the trains. Because these two guys are like... Yeah, I can see this where you're like trying to get a level of... Maybe there's like a primary goal of deliver like 500 green cargo or something, or 1,000 green cargo, but then there's like... you get a second rating for green cargo per minute. This dude make you stronger and faster. He's gonna get stuck, eh? It's actually really nice to have the game running and not crashing. I mean, it doesn't crash that much, but you know, feeling reasonably stable. Well, he just went straight through this intersection here. What was that about? And didn't collide. Mega train, just after talking about how stable the game is. Get the train information, see what it says about the hazard. Hazard, no junction, cell, none. So he stops there. He did stop that time. Why is he carrying on though? Oh, I think I know what that is. It's going like, once it crosses into the cell, now it's looking one cell ahead. See, it's like not slowing down fast enough, and then when it crosses into that cell, it doesn't consider the cell it's in for a hazard. Strange that it doesn't collide either. I wanted to make like collisions difficult but possible. These stone blocks look funny. How good? Let's see how long this stream's been going on for. 2 hours. Perfect. Perfect. Ha. It's a little roller coaster tycoon going on. Oh. Feels good, man. Did we do any of the things on the list? Raw material temp models. We did one. We did one. Yeah, one thing maybe, instead of delivering directly to the factory, you can deliver to a stack and the factory can take from the stack. Could be factories on the coast. Yeah, I did think like instead of going to a warehouse where it's like just disappears, what if the coast is like a big port and you need to deliver heaps of cargo and there's a big container ship and you gotta like fill the container ship to beat the level or something. Pumping water and salt and stuff. Oh yeah. Doesn't seem to be any. So in debug mode, man, none of this is taking more. This whole thing is taking less than 1 millisecond in 4K. Yeah. The game loop's taking half a millisecond, and then the rendering is taking like. It's running at like over 1,000 frames a second. Hefix, are you just looking at this and being like, man, let's make some sweet models for all this stuff? Hefix, are you looking at that? I mean, these should be little coal piles. I mean, little copper ore and these wood. Oh, think of the deliciousness. We need to lock into an art style as well. Because I think, like, not... I mean, I don't know, the detail is nice, but also there's going to be a lot going on. The little mine. Little stone, infinite stone mine. Oh, we need some trees and rivers. Where's the feature editor? River editor. Let's add a river. Beautiful. Doesn't delete the grass. That's okay, I guess. Trees. Lovely trees. Can't put trees there for some reason. Why can't I put trees there? Seems strange. Rocks, lots of ocean rocks, so many ocean rocks. Put rocks around the stone mine to make it more like topical. Gonna make some stuff when we get it further along. I'm liking this sort of analytical look, even though I know it's just him. Yeah, you know what I mean though? Like, you know what I mean about like locking, like you could just straight up replace all the models and the art and everything and it should just look better, but as long as we're getting like, as long as the data's flowing correctly and the gameplay and all that is developing. I feel like we got like really sidetracked with the graphics last time, but at least we know now that the graphics can just be ported over and they will end up looking like the last graphics. But also I feel like it's a bit more systematic now, like the art can be like, oh, we're out of green cargo, man. Cargo is slow. Yeah, finding a system for the art as well, so they're like, so the models like look like they're all part of the same thing. They're all authored the same way. They're all imported the same way. It's like one material per model or something. You know what I mean? Finding that rhythm. Because even these Kenny models, they're just like, they all just have that real simple. Not this. This is obviously not it. Oh, whoops. Oh, it loads them both. But they all have this, you know, basic color map thing. Whoa, who's Who built this model viewer? Last time the graphics helped make RoboMo look slick. Yeah, indeed. Maybe you could like, I wonder if it'd be fun to have to manage the trains based on what they can pick up. But I don't know whether I want to bother about that. Every time I work with C++ and can't get past link errors. Yeah, nah, that is like one of the main gateways. The old link error. Who's such a low grade train? This is going to cause a lot of issues. Oh, we just make them super all fast. All level 5 trains. I wonder how you generate currency, because if it's only when you deliver the cargo, then that's not really good enough. You gotta kind of... Where's all the stone going? You kind of need to be able to upgrade your lines via some other system. Yeah. What has it got? Not enough wood. Wood needed. Go speed, go speed, go speed, go speed. Yeah, get that wood we need. These long trains are just like making things worse. Like make you a short train. This one's only picking up copper though. Maybe there's like a max you could pick up. Oh no, we've got a train issue. Stop. Pick up. Don't. That could have happened any time. All right. Good. Good. There are issues. I know, that was a thing I was like, I just put like heavy braking in because otherwise they overshoot too much and like they break, which is kind of currently the thing. How fast can we go? We're at, oh, I'm not even in the thing. We can go 20 times speed. Stopping, pick up. These are just gonna... What if it was going the other way? It will just meet on the same track as the other train. Rail. Is there any other way we can go? Wait, where is this train? Oh, it's down here. Must have clicked it on somehow. I wonder if we can de-escalate these trains. Alright, speed up. It seems to be in sync. 20 speed. There's also no limit to stacks right now, so... Oh, we're also not making... Damn it. We just need wood, man. Wood needed. Okay, we're back to making, just not fast enough. Yeah, these factories need to be like upgradable or whatever. Just leave it running. What happens if the game time goes beyond float max? Does it just go back to 0? Yeah. Why are we producing so many Suzanne heads? Okay, we broke in 1 millisecond. It must just be the amount of stuff. Are we getting any resize GPU data? Pretty good. There's a little coloring now for how long a thing takes. Alright, cool beans, man. I think I'm going to leave it there. Oh, now we're out of Suzanne heads. Station. Maybe you could have pick up max or something. Only pick up 3 or 5 or something. They go into weird syncs. Nice. Yes. Actually made a playable game. Nice. We got there. It only took us a year and a bit. But we figured out what the game is. Okay, I mean, whatever these materials are, whatever. Raw materials, they're kind of done. Now I understand why Factorio train signals are implemented. How are they implemented? Float overflow result in infinity, if I remember correctly. I did fix... There used to be a bug where if the game speed was too high, this lerp angle would give not a numbers back on the train rotations, but I just put a clamp and it's all good now. Feels good, man. That feels good, man. Put this one in the pile. Raw materials. Yeah, we can build from here. I feel like I can build from here. We can build from here. Yeah, I don't know how it got to NANs. I think it was when the T value got strange. I guess if it does it over a bunch of frames, it starts getting wild. Oh, sorry, I got a drink bottle on the way. Oh, infinity. All right, dudes. I think that was progress. Happy about that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, this feels good. I also like initially I was thinking of the player not having to manage much. No, you add a few layers of little management. Now there's a couple of windows you can change your things, and now it's not too big a deal. Some nice stuff to do. Next time, I don't know. Slowly increase. Yeah, you don't want it to become just like a menu. I played a bit of OpenTTD the other day, and I was like, man, it's tedious to build the rail. You got to click the type of rail and click open a new window, and it closes the other window and stuff. And that's after they've made it a lot more like playable. I was like 1995 or something, so can't be too complainy about that. Alrighty. Bada boom, boom, boom. Oh, there's a doggy. There is a doggy. There's two dogs, actually. There's a little doggy. Baby Sprouts. She looks just like that one. And that one. Look the same. Good dog. There's another dog on the other side, but he's out of view. There it is. There's a little dog. You can kind of see down there, little doggy dee. Yes, these good dogs. Oh, and we are 8 days from due date, so we will maybe that's happening at any point. That's gonna make things interesting. Yeah. Oh, what a beauty! Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, little. We've got chili, Tabasco. Now we just need young jalapeno. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for pushing on the streams. I like it. You're like, oh, are you streaming? I'm like, yes, I must. We must. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Some work on, but I'm trying to like just juggle things. And oh, thanks Patrick from. It's good times. It's good to make progress. Not one of those ones where you just like looking around going, oh. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna bail, but we'll catch you guys on the next one. Yeah.